Hey y'all, cooking, cutting up, keeping it real. I have a new recipe for you guys. If you're interested, you can hop on. I'm doing a recipe that has been around for at least almost 33 years. My mother-in-law gave me this recipe when Andy and I first got married, and she was an excellent cook, and my father-in-law farmed as well. So I love it that it's in her handwriting. It's called hash ole. Hashole. I'm going to cut up I've got a Vidalia onion, and it's not a real big one, but I'm going to cut that up and get started. And I'll go over the recipe as I go. So if you love this recipe, you might want to jot it down. I'll read it to you in just a minute. Cookie and I are in the kitchen. No, ma'am, get down. That is not for you. I'm just going to cut this onion up, and then I can chat a little bit with you guys, I think. I can't chat while I'm cutting this onion because I'll cut my finger, and I might need it. I have my burner on medium, and I'm going to put these onions in there. This recipe. Okay, let's see. Brown your meat and onions, stirring to break the meat apart. Okay, got that. That's the first thing. So I'm going to put a medium-sized onion. The recipe actually calls for, let's see here. Where's the onion at? A 3/4 cup of cooked. 3/4 cup of onion. And keep in mind, this is an oldie but goodie. This was one of those recipes that I want to say my mother-in-law gave it to me at a bridal shower, like with a casserole dish or something. But she knew that her baby boy loved this recipe and that it needed to be in my arsenal. So I made this a lot when we were first married. And I've made it for the kids, over the years. But I have not made it in quite a while. And one of you guys, one of the hashtag cutting up crew, asked me about it. And so I pulled it out of an old recipe holder, and I'll show you that in a minute too. Let me get these onions, and hopefully they won't go all over the place. I don't want them to go on the floor because you know who is right there. And I don't think she needs any onion. I gotta get my other knife. My guys are not crazy about onions. There's a piece of skip of there we go. So they don't mind them if I cook them down though, like with meat. So if you cook them down, they sweeten up and they're not as pungent as if they're raw. This is not my normal chopping space here, but I wanted to show y'all what I was doing. Okay. Into the pan. This is an easy recipe, hearty, fills the belly. Put you a salad with it or some green beans or some whatever green you like. And you got a meal. Hash ole. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to add 1 pound of hamburger. Hello, there's your ball. I just stepped on it. No, ma'am, this is not for you. Okay. I have 1 pound of ground beef that I'm going to add in here. And then I'm going to give my hands a wash and grab get down, thank you. I'm going to grab my hamburger cutter upper. I don't know what I call it. It's from Pampered Chef. I love it to chop up hamburger. It's black and it has 4 little sides. It kind of reminds me of a fan bat. When I was in middle school and playing softball, our coach back then, his name was Spencer, ironically, Wilson, and I really liked him a lot. And he had a fan bat. And so before you got up to the plate, you swung that fan back to kind of get you going. That hamburger cutter upper reminds me of that. Okay. Hang on, let me wash my hands. Okay. Hamburger cutter upper. And then maybe we can chat. What's for dinner at y'all's house tonight? I'd love to know that. Kind of like being on Hee Haw. They used to say, population 650. I don't remember, but I remember having to watch it as a kid Saturday night. Let me just break this up as it's cooking. Before I went on my walk with Cookie, I went ahead and cooked some rice because this recipe calls for cooked rice. So that's on the back burner back there. And I'm going to cut this heat up just a little bit, about medium-high, so that it will go ahead and get really churning. Okay, anyway, here's what I was going to show y'all. This was given to me when I got married by somebody at church, and I can't remember who, but it houses all these recipes that I've had for years, and that's where the hash old recipe was. There's a meaning to the words hash ole, and I'll give them to you here in just a minute. Ole, O-L-E, is like old meaning, old. Hash is from to chop, and hash ole would be a meal of chopped up leftover food. That's the definition of it. We looked it up online. Anyway, it's basically a hamburger casserole in my book, but it's called hash ole. So 1 pound of hamburger, 3/4 cup of onion diced. You're going to brown that. Break up the meat as you go. And while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and open up. You're going to need 1 thing of tomato paste. And it's a little one. It's 6 ounces. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and open that so it'll be ready to go in. And then I'm going to scroll back and see what y'all are saying while my burger is browning. And I'll post a picture of this recipe front and back. I think y'all can read it. But let me just recite it real quick before I forget to. It's 1 pound of ground beef, 3/4 cup of chopped onion, 1/2 cup of cooked rice, 2.5 cups of water, 1 beef bouillon cube, 1 small can of tomato paste, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 1/2 pound of cheddar cheese chunked up. And I bought the kind that's already cut. But anyway, you're going to brown your meat and the onions, stir in to break the meat apart, stir in the rice, the water, the bouillon cube, and the tomato paste, add the seasonings, heat it to boiling, stir it well, cover it, and before you serve it, it says lower heat and simmer for 25 minutes, add cheese cubes, and toss and serve immediately. It makes 6 servings if you do it just like this. We're going to have a few more servings than that because I'm going to use more rice in mine. Anyway, let's see what people are saying. You can watch the video back and jot that down. Hey, Peggy, good to see you. You are so... Well, thank you, Dean. That's the nicest thing somebody said to me in a long time. I appreciate that. Haven't seen you in a while. Let's see. Hey, Rita. It's good to see you, too. And what's everybody... Let's see. It's dinner time here. So proud to catch you. Well, thank you, Gina. I'm so proud to catch that you called us live, too. The Cookie Monster and I are in the kitchen. We're making an old recipe out of my mother-in-law's repertoire. My mother-in-law passed away. My mother-in-law was one of those mother-in-laws that I hope I can be like. Honestly, because she lived next door, like a field separates us from their house, but she wasn't a meddler, and she didn't just show up unannounced. Matter of fact, she didn't show up unless I asked her to come by. So she was really a great support person. She helped teach me how to can. She helped teach me how to plant flowers. She was just a really sweet lady. She was also one of the first women in the North Carolina, let me see if I can get this right, United Methodist Women North Carolina Conference to be on the bishop's board. She was one of the first women to ever do that. She was very active in United Methodist Women. For years and years and years, people have asked me when they see my name if I'm related to her, because they knew her through the Methodist Church. Anyway, God rest her soul. She's in heaven now, but she was just a wonderful, wonderful person. And she raised my husband. There you go. Boom. This is almost brown enough. Almost. I'm going to measure up my 2.5 cups of water. Cook, what are you doing? What's under there? She's after something under here, under the cabinet. 2.5 cups of water. Okay, there's 2. I got to go back for a half, and I need to reread my directions. I have to reread directions a lot, y'all. Yeah, it was 2.5 cups of water. Perfect. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put my seasonings in, too, so I don't forget them. And that was a beef bouillon cube, some salt, some pepper, and some chili powder. I don't want any of that in there, so I'm going to open it over here. Yes, ma'am. Down. Thank you. I know you want to see what's going on. Okay. There we go. Now, this says 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to eyeball mine. That looks like about a half. And, you know, you can always add salt afterwards to taste, if that's your thing. I don't want to put too much salt, though, because it's hard to get the salt out if you put too much. So there's the pepper. And then it said 1 teaspoon of chili powder. And we walked down to the hayfield, and I'll be showing some pictures of that on my story. They are baling hay this afternoon. So Cookie and I walked down there, and I got some really cool video footage that I'll show you on my story. Anyway, how are the boys doing? Angie, they're doing great. Thank you for asking. My oldest is 28, out on his own. My youngest is 24. How did it ever get to that? I still feel like they should be like 10 and 6. Anyway, I've been wondering about your father-in-law. How's he doing? My father-in-law passed away, Linda. Thank you for asking. He passed away, December was a year. So he was 86. He went peacefully, thank the good Lord. But, yeah, he passed away. So he's now in heaven with his wife, which is sweet to think about. Okay. Y'all know him because I cooked for him. Cooked for Papa. Okay. Let me move this around a little bit. And let me grab another form of stir. Let's do this. Okay. I'm going to put 2.5 cups of water. There's 2. Let me grab a half. Two and a half cups of water, 1 can of tomato paste, 6 ounces. And where did I get it? At the Food Line. It's like my home away from home. Food Line's probably the closest grocery store to us, so I end up going there a lot. Let me get all that in there. The recipe says it's 6 servings. So I'm going to add a little more rice than a half a cup. I cooked 1 cup of rice. No, I cooked 2 cups of rice. So I'm going to add more rice than what it calls for because, listen, around here, we eat leftovers, and this is a great dish to be left over. I'm going to cut the heat up on this and bring it to a boil. And I'm going to check my instructions again. Then I can check comments. Let's see. Brown meat and onions. Did that. Stir in the rice, the water, the bouillon cube, and the tomato paste. Okay. Let me stir the rice in. And y'all, please remind me to take a picture of the recipe card and just post it for you. Just somebody remind me. Takes a village. Okay, I'm going to let this come up to a boil. Check it one more time to make sure we got everything in. Bouillon cube, tomato paste, seasonings. Heat it to boiling, stir well, cover, let simmer for 25 minutes. Okay, I got to find a lid. We got to find a lid, girl, that fits this thing. There we go. Okay. One pot wonder, too. I love that about it. I'm trying this on Sunday. Opa, you so should, and it feeds a lot of people. You know, a scoop of that in a salad and maybe a piece of garlic bread. You got a meal. Let's see. Yeah, it's called hash ole. That's what my mother-in-law's card said. Hash ole. And then she must have recited the instructions to me on the back because that's my writing. I probably called her and said, no, wait a minute. What am I supposed to do exactly? She was such a good person to help like that. You know, you hear all the horror stories about mother-in-laws not getting along and all that. I did not have that experience. I was very, very fortunate and very blessed. And she also helped to keep my children when they were young and I was working. Not to mention she was a wonderful Christian woman mentor. Good for rainy days. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Hey, Heather. I think Heather's just joining us. We're making hash one pot wonder. Rice, tomato paste, brown hamburger, a pound of hamburger, onion, some chili powder, salt, pepper, water, and a bouillon cube. And then we're going to put chunks of cheese in it. Love this easy meal recipe. Linda, I'm glad you love it. We love it too. And it is quick and easy. All right, this is to a boil. I'm going to cut the heat down a little bit. And I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to set my timer, because if I don't, I'm like Pavlov's dog. I will answer to a timer for sure. Meanwhile, I'll kind of clean up as we go. Anyway, I will show a picture of it in comments, and I will also post a picture of this recipe. Hopefully y'all can read it. It's an oldie but goodie. I miss my father-in-law. I miss my former mother-in-law, rest her soul. Yeah, Opa, I miss mine too. She was a wonderful woman, and one that I would like to be like that when I have the pleasure of being a mother-in-law. I think shoe pig corn beginning. Victoria, I think it would too. That's a great idea. I make something like that with cans of rotel instead of tomato. I bet that's delicious, Rhonda. I love it when y'all give more ideas for recipes. It's awesome. Anyway, I will sign off for now, but I did want to show y'all what I was doing. Hash ole, and I will post a picture. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any comments. I'm trying the chicken on Sunday. Oh, Opa, you trying the chicken on Sunday? The melt in your mouth chicken? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Let's see. This looks good. It smells really good, too, I have to tell you. You know, garlic would be good in it as well. I tried your melt in your mouth chicken tonight, and it was delicious. Wasn't it, Donna? That is a great recipe. I love that recipe. And it's not to break the bank, and it's not too hard. I like all that. How is the little boy you used to have on your video? Patty, that was the Mac Daddy. He's doing great. He is growing up and playing baseball, and he stays busy, and we see him usually during football season is when we see him at the Deacons games. So anyway, I miss him. He was such a delight always. Anyway, guys, hash ole. I'm going to close for now. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys soon. This is definitely one of those recipes you want to copy down and keep it in your repertoire, and it doesn't break the bank. It goes a long way, and it's man-friendly. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Have a wonderful evening. Bye now.